Alright, so I'm pretty sure you've heard or maybe even seen trendy clips all online about Love Island, a show where people who look like models can go to an island and find love. Pretty self-explanatory, not gonna lie. The show gained most of its popularity around last season. Although it is a dating show for people looking for love, people stay for the drama. Clock it. This is absolutely the most I've ever seen this show talked about. I've been watching Love Island for a couple of years and I've never seen this much controversy surrounding this show. These people are actors and they don't really want love. They be a little too freaked out and allegedly some of them are racist. Oh, there's a lot of issues to dive into.
She said take your time with the
Sierra Ortega abruptly exited season 7 of the show after 2 of her social media posts from 2015 and 2023 resurfaced that appeared to show her using a racial slur. In both posts, Ortega appeared to use language offensive to Asian people while describing cosmetic procedures she wanted to get, according to the Daily Mail.
Like I said, Love Island has a racism problem because she's not the only person on the cast who has used racial slurs. And this time, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about if this was racist. This was the granddaddy of them all.
Right, you fuck my nigga, perfect, but that's it. Like, now I'm fucking my nigga. He's my nigga. Like, bye, bitch. Are you that nigga that controls what she wears? Or
Hey, I can comment on this one. I'm black.
There is this weird obsession with people who say slurs but aren't racist. Like, if you genuinely are, just stand on it. And I don't know why, but especially for black people, the word is used and thrown around as if it is not a slur. But that is a talking point for another day. A lot of issues that may or may not be a real problem, when it hits social media, it is going to seem bigger than what it actually is.
I feel like we were seeing an element of Huda not believing that these dark-skinned black women are going to be competition.
If Shelly, who probably went through the same thing as Huda, had that kind of behavior on air, it just wouldn't have been the same.
But because Huda is a bad bitch with a fat ass, y'all call it fucking relatable. Any platform that puts Huda on there to interview her, you guys are platforming an abusive, manipulative narcissist. Prove to me that she is not abusive. We all watched it on the national TV.
Colorism, fat phobia, interracial dating, hookup culture, racism. These are not topics that are usually brung up when people are talking about a reality TV show. But damn it, Love Island and sparked up a lot of TED Talks. And because the show has become so trendy, it has now become a problem and is pushing quote-unquote propaganda. Now, I'm not gonna argue with you. Love Island is a freaked out show, but it's always been a freaked out show. I guarantee you, if you go to Peacock right now and go to any of the previous seasons, it is, if not more, freaked out. I don't think Love Island is pushing propaganda towards hookup culture. Hey, I can promise you, dating apps and social media has done way more damage to that mindset. To the point where I no longer think it's hookup culture, I think it's just a sad reality. Emotional trauma and colorism, my god, it's Love Island. I don't know what y'all are expecting from these shows. Imagine walking into the strip club, being like, dang, why are these women shaking? I wish I would go to a basketball game and try to preach to the brothers. You need to be more than those stereotypes of an athlete and a rapper. You need to expand your mind. No, the person next to me is literally gonna say, dog, it's a basketball game. What are you doing? This is reality TV. I promise you that this used to be my comfort show, my sit back and be entertained show. The show isn't pushing these different type of propagandas. The biggest problem is the people watching the show with these philosophical expectations. If that's where you set the bar, then I think you flipped to the wrong channel, my guy. Y'all ruined this show for me. Y'all as in the viewer. Love Island might not be the same after this. But Love Island themselves may also be the issue. And speaking of issues, let's talk about some of these characters. Now, I'm not going to go through every character on the show, but I will go through the main one. Alright, my girl Huda, probably one of the most talked about characters on the show. Now, I seen a lot of people have problems with her, which respectfully so, she did crash out, call niggas the B word and all this other stuff, completely disrespectful, agreed. And at the beginning of the show, she was giving off very much delusional, but behind her wrath was an even more delusional person, Jeremiah.
Everyone's saying like, oh, like don't put all your eggs in one basket on day one. And I'm like, I hear you, but like, I really like her type shit.
I like you too.
We're talking about the first 2 episodes and he's already talking about closing things off. Slow down, brother. And to be honest, it didn't even last that long because you could visibly see on his face he was drained and ready to get out of that couple. My biggest problem with him is that he was just never man enough to just say what needed to be said. But honestly, I was ready for Huda and Jeremiah to be gone. But I do like that Huda finally got over the whole Jeremiah BS and did try to explore new connections. Alright, now I feel like Ace kind of get mixed reviews. Some people like him, some people don't. I'm gonna be honest, I felt like Ace was one of the most solid ones on the show. He called people out on their BS, he was keeping it real with everybody. I felt like he was genuinely there for a real connection. Debatable, I guess. I felt like Ace was a solid dude. Now his couple, Shelly, on the other hand, at first I did like her. She also seemed very solid. But towards the end, the way that she handled the situation between Ace and Chris, she didn't seem to understand the things that she was doing that was wrong, which I had a problem with. But outside of that, she was cool. Now, Taylor and Alandria, wow, really a bombshell when he switched up. But maybe not really. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think you go from one couple to another and act completely different just out of the blue, out of nowhere. Hot take, I don't think Taylor really fucked with Alandria to begin with. I think he thought that she was a cool girl. You know, he was testing it out, seeing where it could go. When Taylor came in, he knew what he wanted, dog. But I actually liked it, both of them on the show. I got a very authentic vibe from both of them as well. Now, Amaya, I'm not even gonna say I don't like her. She is just very, Lord have mercy, emotional. And I'm not saying being emotional is a bad thing, but she was crying about things that had nothing to do with her. Like, she would literally just cry off of situations that she wasn't even involved in. I'm pretty sure in real life she may be a cool girl. In the show, she was coming off as a pygmy. She was laughing at shit that wasn't funny. She just seemed like she was always overly going, always overly invested and interested in the man that she just met, which, I mean, you could argue about everybody there, but she was giving pygmy, I'm sorry, and this is no disrespect towards her. But crying after every elimination? Let's calm down. And Mr. Nick, I really don't have much to say about him. He was low-key very messy. He was a little messy boots, a little instigator at times, but he kept it low-key. Now, I'm not sure what they were told when Sierra was kicked off the show, but the fact that they were closed off in real life as a relationship, a pairing, boyfriend and girlfriend, and the moment she's kicked off the show, he was already exploring a new connection. Interesting, all I'll say. So this isn't really a real critique of the show because it's reality TV. It's kind of hard to critique. And although maybe the show is too freaked out at times, maybe a lot of drama as well, but I like the show. I enjoy the show. So why is it the worst season of Love Island? And a simple answer, y'all ruined the show. Y'all, as in all of the people who came from the hype of last season, who just started watching the show. I literally could not scroll on TikTok, Instagram without the show being spoiled. Clips are everywhere. What happened to the show that I love? Everybody coming in with their TED Talks about why Love Island is harmful and the propaganda that it's pushing. Bro, go get your own show, dog. Nobody was complaining before. What happened to the show that I loved? No, in all seriousness though, this was one of the worst seasons. And oddly enough, nothing really changed about the show. Love Island has always been freaked out. There is always delusional people on the show. There is always a couple that falls quote unquote in love way too fast. There's always the toxic couple. There's always been useless challenges that doesn't further the connection of any couple. The main difference in this season is that there really wasn't any real connections actually forming throughout the show. You have to realize by the point that they get to Casa Amor, when all of the connections are supposed to be tested, when they get to this point, there was no connection that really needed to be tested because every connection was still fairly new. By this point, everybody was still open to exploring, and there wasn't a single person or couple that was solid. And you can say what you want to say about it being fake and it's just actors on the show, but there are actual, genuine, real relationships that have formed from this show. I genuinely don't know who the is making it out of this season. And yes, I love the drama. I love the messiness. But the hopeless romantic in me still wants there to be love somewhere. I don't think Love Island is pushing these propagandas. The people watching are using this as a way to get off their narratives, their hot takes, propaganda, whatever it is. We say that we're not gonna fall for the hype and we're gonna leave it alone, but just like 2K, we're back at it again each year. I'm done with my TED Talk. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Peace.